Yo, I can't even believe I'm sitting here right now because it's like I made it feeling, sort of. Jeez. Whew, let's do this. Wow. Okay. I don't like digging this part of my life up, but at the same time, I do feel like with years of therapy and like now getting everything out of my storage unit, I can tell this story. Hey, what's up guys? Hey Barbies and Kens. If you're new here, my name is Gab, and if you're new here, I like to do story times of my life. This one I've been wanting to tell since it happened, and I do feel like I was silenced from my ex, from people in my life, to just not bring it up because it's going to start more issues. And I'm really happy that I can sit here today and finally talk about it, because what was done to me, and let me be honest, he also wasn't the best person. I would pray that he's changed for the better, because my past relationships I've had have not been the best, but this one was really not well. It was a lot of the times the A word, gaslit, all the fun words. And it was a really dark time in my life because I was getting diagnosed with my illness. I didn't know what was wrong with me, why I was in so much pain. And I was also a caregiver for my grandmother because she was very ill. Stuart's here, he probably knows. He's like, oh, are you sad? So I just feel like I want to tell my story, I feel like, and I'm probably going to talk in circles just because I'm trying to get everything out that I need to, because I have a lot of emotions with this whole situation. But I want to bring this up after all these years, because opening up these boxes, which you're going to be seeing starting tomorrow, has been such a weird feeling. A lot of crying in my boyfriend's arms on the couch. I only go through one a day because it is emotionally draining going through these boxes and seeing what I'm seeing and finding my stuff broken. And the funny part is, you would think broken pieces would be in the same box where the item was broken, huh? So it's kind of weird that stuff is just broken and shoved in a fucking box. I'm very hurt. I'm very upset. The stuff that I'm finding that I probably can never repair again, or have to just glue and be okay with it. It's sickening. It's disgusting. And I don't feel like anybody should ever have to go through this situation. And that's why I'm telling what happened to me and my situation. So maybe it could like help somebody else in the future. So let me rewind and start from the beginning if you haven't followed me for a while, or if you're just clicking on this video now. Before I even begin too, all of the facts and what I'm stating in the story are my thoughts and my feelings and what I went through. I won't be naming any names, just X and X's mother. That's about it. Because I don't need to. He I think has dug himself enough of a hole in this world. That's why I say that I pray he never does to any woman what he did to me, because again, years of therapy, stuff coming out, finally telling like my family what I went through, because people, you know, when you see somebody, you think they're this great person, and then behind closed doors, sometimes they could be an absolute monster, and I don't know why. There was a lot of things during that relationship said to me that were very rough, and it should have never been said to me. Examples, you'll never be a tattoo artist, you're not an artist, just making fun of my disability to others. And there will be more stories on this channel about this sex in the future, and just story time instances. There's actually a couple now on the channel already of stuff he put me through and did to me, and it's just mostly awareness. I couldn't fathom my own daughter or somebody going through this. So okay, so my grandmother, I was her caregiver, like I mentioned, and she passed very suddenly. She died in 4 days. That was very, very hard on me with her passing. Now, I did live at my ex's house when I took care of her. So I would just go to where my grandma lived and then go back to my ex's, and then go to where my grandma lived and come back to my ex's. Didn't matter what time of day. I was a caregiver for my grandmother. That's what I did as my job through the state. During, like I said, the last periods of her life were very rough. I was also her hospice nurse, and it's something I have never talked about on this channel, but it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I would do it again, but it really, I went to therapy. I'm still in therapy because some of the stuff I seen and went through was just a lot on me. So after she had passed, I was not looking to work a job. I really needed, from my doctor's perspective, from my own perspective and family's perspective, to maybe just chill out for a bit. I was eligible for unemployment to get it because of the fact that she went suddenly, and it was, like I said, through my job, a company. So I figured for a while I would just do that and try to pay what the little amount they were giving me, my bills and what I needed to do. And also, when I was living there, we were paying rent, of course, but my ex was also supposed to be contributing rent as well. I like to refer to myself during that time of my life as a pack mule, because I feel like I was paying for everything, and if I needed help, which I'll mention soon in the story for our bill or something, it's like thin air. Like, no, just I don't even, I got to a point I didn't even, after 3 or 4 years, want to ask, because I knew it wasn't gonna fucking happen. So I would just figure it out myself. I feel like that time in my life too, like, between having an illness and not knowing what it is, now knowing in my life what it is and being able to function and looking like a normal person again, but I was very underweight, I was very sick all the time, and having somebody giving you mental A word and then a disease was so, like, just looking back, I cried the one time when a memory came up of my lowest weight, knowing that it's from, I'm not going to say it was all from mental A word, but part of it was mental A word and acting like I'm going to get hit in the face and stuff. It was too much. And I feel like when other people in that home could hear it and nobody did anything about it is what kills me to this day, because I would never want my kid to go through that. Even if my child was the one causing it and it was somebody else's child, I would intervene, because what the hell? What the hell? So, I don't know. I need to get backtrack. And then I saw a text message come up. I don't have my glasses on, so it was a little blurry. I'm like, who is that? My dad? No, my best friend. Anyways. Okay, so I remember, and there's parts of the story which I'll tell you totally blacked out, or my brain over time has blacked it out, which thank God, because I don't need to fucking have to relive it over and over and over like I used to. I'd have a fear of my stuff being stolen, taken, and you'll see in a minute. So, one day, just hanging out or whatever at the house, and I guess his mom was getting into it with his brother or something like that, and then it turned into yelling at him. And I'm pretty sure I should have just kept my mouth shut, because knowing what I know now and how much he cheated on me over and over and over and over with, the P word. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Can you say the ones that go up and down the pole, giving them all my money? So I don't know. Maybe that's why we couldn't pay rent either, because he kept throwing his money away towards stuff like that, which is disgusting. Come on now. Stuart, what are you doing? He's trying to playing the boxes. Anyways, she had come at him for whatever the reason. To be honest, I don't know. They used to get into it a lot. Me and my family would too. Whose family doesn't? I'm not even shaming or whatever. Whatever. And he probably should have just gave over rent if that's what she was asking for. I feel we had a nice area. We had an opportunity to save money. I felt like a effing fool when I would save my money and have someone milking me out of my money, and it's okay. Once I'm out of school one day, I'll repay you. It was all a freaking lie. So, you know, I'm like defending him, and it just turned into her snapping and telling me that we needed to get the F out. There's probably stuff in between that, but when I heard that, I probably blacked out, and I was like, what? Because, of course, everything I owned was there. Like, you know, I lived there. My stuff was there. I was really unprepared. So she was threatening, like, the cops and everything that we needed to get the stuff out now. Of course, like, where am I getting boxes, like, anything to put it in? So I think at that point, to be honest, I took, like, a book bag, like, any kind of bigger bags that I had that I knew I could just, like, shove a bunch of my stuff in. So I know, like, my one favorite doll that I own, that immediately went into, like, a shoulder bag with me. Clothes, so I'd have it wherever the hell I was going. Yeah, it was just wild, like, trying to pack my car up with stuff. My mistake was when I was getting all my stuff, like, to leave, I went outside and the door was locked on me. So I couldn't come back in the house. So I'm kind of like hitting the door and crying, being like, hey, please let me back in. I'm just trying to get my stuff. Like, you literally just fucking asked for me to get my stuff out of the house, and now you're locking the door. Like, what? So yeah, that was quite irritating. I just remember a point too. I don't remember if it was in the house, because I think I was on the phone outside with my mom. I called her at that point, which, again, I don't have the best relationship, but, like, I was like, hey, I'm getting kicked out, so I gotta come to your house. I have my stuff, I don't know where to go. I mean, like, at that point, I'm just, like, circulating my brain, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm already high levels of stress because my grandmother, who's technically, like, my mother to me, who raised me, just died. So, like, you know what I'm trying to say? I wasn't thinking straight, and obviously neither was his mother. So she did let me back in at one point. I kept grabbing stuff, and it got to a point where she kind of was like, you can't come back in. Like, if you want the rest of your stuff, don't quote me. It might have been like police warrant. Okay, sorry. I just had to stop my air conditioning because it's behind this wall, and it is so loud you wouldn't even been able to hear a word I was saying. Anyways, so basically like I just said, I got out what I could, and I was told I couldn't come back in, and that she was gonna pack up the rest of the stuff, which I was not okay with, or she would have her son come over and do it. And I distinctly remember buying stuff to pack up the stuff and going there and having it already all packed. So she, of course, had to pack it. Maybe he had come over and did it. I don't know. Their relationship was weird. They weren't really talking to him. Maybe they were, and I didn't know about it because it's not my business. I don't know. Apparently, everything was not my business in that family, but I was with him for 4 years. Oh, Stuart. I thought he just tore my skirt. Oh my gosh. He's mad about the story, too. He's not thrilled. Anyways, so we went to pick up the stuff that was already pre-packed off of the porch. We put it into the back of my car and his car, and at that point, I had to get a storage unit. I was like, hey, money to help me get a storage unit? Nope. I don't know who I lent it from, to be honest. Probably a family member. So I opened up the storage unit, and these boxes have not been touched since we got them off the porch and they came here. Mind you, this is 4 years later. If I wanted to do something, I can't. And to be honest, I just feel bad in general because, like, one, I could have came in and wrapped my stuff properly that it didn't shatter and break instead of somebody whipping into a fucking box probably because they were pissed off at me. Like, I just don't understand how you would do that to somebody who, like, potentially we were going to get married. I mean, we were together for a while, but it's like, why, like, just, it's, the logic wasn't logicking. And I keep looking at the one box because I will say, like I said, I have a series coming tomorrow of my storage unit videos of all my collection of my stuff. Some of it is broken because these are pre-filmed videos because it's going to be like a week-long thing. Some of the stuff is broken and I can't fix it. There's nothing I can do. It's fucking shattered. There's other stuff that's like, I could glue it, but it's never going to be the same. Obviously, it makes me very hurt. I found stuff from my nan last night, who's not in the best condition of her life, let's just say. And it was completely just, like, broken because it was shoved in a fucking box because they didn't care. And let me tell you, the one thing, it's like an angel figure and wings broken off, like clean cut, because of how it was just thrown in the fucking box. That was always on the dresser with this big mirror where I would like, I don't know, get ready, and like the closet was like right there. So I know it was there at the house, you know what I'm trying to say? And that was just thrown in there. It wasn't just like, oh, it was laying somewhere else. Like, I remember exactly where I had that because it was something I looked at every morning because I thought of my nan. After a young girl just lost her grandmother. So, like, I'm mad that I'm mad about this after so many years because, like, I already knew what type of person this person was. Them to stoop that low. Like, there's stuff in the one box. Let me give an example. A unicorn nutcracker, okay? Like, from that year. The horn is clean cut, broken off of it, okay? So it should be in the box, correct? It's not in the fucking box. Which means, like, what? Were you just busting my shit and putting it in because you were mad? Like, the whole thing is just insane. And like I said, this is so many years ago, so that's why I'm like, hey, I'm gonna talk about it. I have every right to talk about it. But it's just like, it just hurts. It hurts. You know what I mean? That, like, yeah, you're angry about something, but at the same time, like, it wasn't that deep. Like, and it's not like these people, no offense, like, and it shouldn't be a no offense, like, they were well-to-do, so it's like, it wasn't like that $200 or what, I don't know the amount anymore that we were giving, though. It was probably more or less, I don't know, like, was putting food on the table, per se. So it's just like, jeez, I don't know. Stuart's being so cute back here, not making me feel better. He's like rolling around on the floor and just being a good little boy over here. Stuart, you make everything better. Do you know that, puppy? I love you. Ooh, I love you, puppy. What a cutie. Anyways, that's it. I don't really have anything else to add to it. Long story short, well, actually, maybe we could put that into a different story time. There's like two girls he just loved talking to all the time. This like one ex, and the one wasn't even in the same state as us, and then the other girl, I don't know, like she just appeared at the house one day, and apparently he just continued to keep seeing her. It's hilarious to me. And some people will be like, oh my god, you're so bitter about it still. I'm not bitter. I just think it's, like, comical. I think it's funny. And looking back at that relationship and then to now, like, how I'm treated, how I'm respected, how I'm cared about, how I'm loved, where I'm at now in my life, I never thought I would get here. I'm very happy where I'm at. I would just never, like I said, never, ever ask for somebody to go through what I went through, at least all at the same time. Like, finding out about my disabilities and then, like, losing her and then mentally not being okay with that, trying to be okay. It was just really a lot. And I think I could just take from that whole experience that when I'm not being treated well in a relationship, or any relationship per se, friendship, family, I was gonna say sexual relationship, but like love relationship, I won't be staying. I won't be here. I won't take that for myself ever again. And I feel like I'm a very strong girl, but like I feel like at that time it was more of a weak spot just because I was so freaking sick and I couldn't even stand without a freaking cane, let alone just like live an everyday life trying to eat normal and stuff. I mean, I was told I had celiac disease, like what the fuck? And I didn't even have celiac disease, so I have nothing else to add. I'm just excited to go through all this Packers and sell some of the stuff too. Let's make this into more of like a happy ending note. I will be like selling some of the stuff too, like some of the dolls and little odds and ends that I have. So if anyone's interested, yeah, I'll be on eBay. Okay. Anyways, I love you guys very much. Thank you for watching this video. And yeah, maybe I'll do, like I said, well, not maybe, I will be doing more story times of how this man put me through the fucking ringer. Okay, guys, bye.